Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a journey, maybe not a physical one for us, but definitely through some ancient texts. It's quite a trip, really.
It is, full of urgent warnings, prophecies that kind of make you blink, and, well, some incredible backstories.
Exactly. We're diving into Homer's Odyssey, specifically Book 15.
Yeah.
A really pivotal part.
Yeah, focusing on Telemachos' return journey. It's packed.
So this deep dive is kind of your shortcut, right? We want to unpack the key events, the hidden dangers, all those insights crammed into his trip home.
And look at that complex mix of, human choices and maybe divine nudges.
Or shoves. And what that means for how you understand these old stories.
Yeah.
And maybe even human nature itself.
Right. So let's get straight into it. It really kicks off with a pretty powerful divine intervention, a real wake-up call for Telemachos.
Okay, so where do we find him? He's in Lakedaimon, right? At Menelaos' place.
That's it. His friend Pisistratos is asleep, but Telemachos, nope, he's wide awake.
Can't sleep. Thinking about his dad, Odysseus. The text says anxious thoughts of his father.
And then, poof, Pallas Athene appears, gray-eyed, right beside him.
And her message, well, she doesn't exactly sugarcoat things, does she?
No, not at all. It's an urgent command. She tells him straight up, it no longer becomes you to stray off so far from home, leaving your possessions behind.
Oof. So stop wandering.
Pretty much. And she warns him, those overbearing suitors, they're not just partying.
They're doing damage.
Serious damage. Dividing up and eating up all your substance. She says they'll make his whole journey pointless. A vain one, if he doesn't hurry.
Wow. So it's not just disrespectful, it's like active destruction of his future, his inheritance.
Exactly. It's a direct threat to everything.
And it's not just the stuff, is it? Athene brings up his mother. Penelope, what's going on there?
Yeah, the situation back home is getting dicey. She reveals that Penelope's father and brothers, they're pushing her. Hard.
Pushing her to remarry.
Yes, specifically to marry Eurymachos. He's apparently outdoing the rest of suitors in the giving of gifts, basically trying to buy his way in.
So, massive family pressure on Penelope. That must be intense.
Immense. And then Athene adds this. Well, it's a pretty controversial observation, isn't it? About the mind in the breast of a woman.
Oh, yeah, that line. What does she say exactly?
She sort of suggests that a woman tends to focus on building the household of the new husband, that she might forget her former children and even her beloved and wedded husband once he's dead.
That sounds harsh, especially to us now.
It's definitely blunt, but for Telemachos, hearing this, it underlines the urgency. Like, his mother's loyalty isn't guaranteed forever against that pressure. A new marriage could just erase his father's memory, his place.
Okay, so pressure on Penelope, his inheritance being eaten up.
Yeah.
And it gets worse, right? Athene warns him about his own safety.
Oh, yeah. It gets way more chilling. She reveals a deadly ambush. Literally.
An ambush. By who?
The best men of the suitors, she says. They're lying in wait for him on purpose in the passage between rocky Samos and Ithaca.
Where he has to sail.
Exactly. Longing to kill you, she says, before you come back to your own country. So they want him dead before he even sets foot on Ithaca again.
Jeez. Talk about a welcome home committee.
It's a serious assassination plot, but right after dropping that bombshell, Athene reassures him.
Okay, good. Now.
She predicts they'll fail, but I think they will not achieve it. Sooner, the earth will close over one of the suitors. Basically, they'll die before they get him.
Okay, so danger, but also divine protection is sort of implied.
Explicitly promised, really. And she doesn't just warn him, she gives him a tactical plan. Very specific instructions.
Well, and what does she tell him to actually do?
Okay, first, keep your well-made ship away from the islands. Don't sail near Samos.
Avoid the ambush zone. Makes sense.
Then, sail with the night. Use the cover of darkness. She assures him an immortal guide will help.
Okay, sail at night, stay away from the islands. What else?
When he makes landfall in Ithaca, he needs to send the ship and his companions onto the main city.
But not him.
No, he has to go somewhere else first. First of all, to the swineherd, she says.
Timaeus.
That's the one. The man in charge of the pigs, who she notes is loyal, whose thoughts toward you are kindly.
And why the swineherd?
He's the trusted messenger. Telemachos needs to send Eumaeus to Penelope, secretly, to tell her he's back safe from Pylos.
Got it. So avoid the ambush, land secretly, send word via the loyal swineherd. That's quite a plan.
It really is. This whole divine intervention just throws Telemachos headfirst into, life or death stakes.
It's strategy, isn't it?
Yeah.
ancient strategic thinking. She's not just saying, watch out. She's giving him the moves.
Exactly. And for you listening, it really shows how these ancient problems, managing resources, personal safety, they needed clever thinking, quick action, stuff that's still relevant, right? Managing your own resources, navigating dangers.
Absolutely. Okay, so Telemachos has his orders from a goddess. He must be buzzing to leave.
Totally. He immediately wakes up Pisistratos, Nestor's son, saying basically, let's go now.
But Pisistratos pumps the brakes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He wants to wait for Menelaos.
Right. He insists on a proper send-off. He brings up the importance of Zadia, hospitality. You can't just sneak off after being a guest.
Ah, that clash again. Divine urgency versus, like, social rules.
It's a great moment. And Menelaos, when he gets up, he actually handles it beautifully. He sees Telemachos is eager.
What does he say?
He gives this really balanced view on hospitality. All things balance is better, he says. He criticizes being too clingy and too cold to guests.
So find the middle ground.
Yeah. He says you should befriend the guest who is there, but speed him when he wishes. Basically, host well, but let them leave when they want to leave.
Yeah.
Pretty understanding, actually.
That is quite enlightened. And then come the parting gifts, which are pretty spectacular.
Oh, absolutely. Top-tier gifts. First, Menelaos gives him this fashioned mixing bowl. It's silver, solid silver.
Nice.
But wait, the edges are finished in gold. And get this, it's described as the work of Hephaestus.
The god of craftsmanship. Wow.
Yeah. Apparently, King Phaidamos of Sidon gave it to Menelaos. So it's got history, divine connection. It's a serious piece.
Okay, that's hard to top. Does Helen give something too?
She does. Helen gives him a robe, an elaborately wrought robe that she made herself.
Handmade by Helen of Troy.
Okay, and it's described as the loveliest in design and the largest and shone like a star. Just dazzling.
What's it for?
It's actually for Telemachos' future wife. Helen says it's for your wife to wear at the lovely occasion of your marriage. But until then, Penelope should keep it safe.
Wow. So these aren't just trinkets. They're packed with meaning, honor, future hopes.
Exactly. Huge symbolic weight.
So gifts exchanged, goodbye said, they're ready to leave. And then another sign.
Yep. Just as they're getting into the chariot, an omen appears. An eagle.
What's it doing?
It flies past on the right. That's usually a good sign. And it's carrying a goose. A great white goose it snatched tame from the yard.
An eagle catching a domestic goose.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Well, they don't have to wonder for long because Helen speaks up immediately.
She interprets it.
Instantly. And powerfully, she declares. As this eagle came down from the mountain and caught the goose that was nursed in the household. So Odysseus, after wandering long and suffering much, will come home and take revenge. Or, she adds, maybe he is already making a plan of evil for all of the suitors.
Whoa, that's incredibly specific and confident.
It really is. And notice it's Helen, this figure of, immense experience and maybe foresight, who takes this ambiguous event, an eagle catching a goose, and just frames it.
Yeah, she shapes the narrative, turns it into this certain prophecy of Odysseus' return and vengeance.
Exactly. It's a masterclass in using a sign to build conviction, right? For you, maybe think about how leaders, even now, interpret events to rally people, turning uncertainty into a clear message.
That's a great point. Okay, so omen received, interpretation given. They finally leave Sparta. But Telemachos has another strategic move up his sleeve, doesn't he? Regarding Nestor back in Pylos.
He does. He's worried about getting delayed again. Nestor, his father's old friend, is known for being, enthusiastically hospitable. Maybe too much so.
Like he won't let him leave.
Potentially. The text calls Nestor's nature overbearing in its affection. So Telemachos tells Pisistratos, don't take me to the palace. Drop me right at the ship.
A bit sneaky, but smart. Does Pisistratos go along with it?
He totally gets it. He understands his own father's ways and just drives the chariot straight to the ship, bypassing the main house. Quick thinking, quick compliance.
Good teamwork.
Yeah.
So he avoids that delay. But then another unexpected thing happens at the ship, right? While he's making a sacrifice.
Yes. This character, Theoclymenos, just appears. He introduces himself as a fugitive from Argos.
A fugitive? Why?
He says flat out, I killed a man of my tribe.
Okay. Wow. Not exactly the first person you'd offer a ride to, usually.
Right. But Theoclymenos isn't just some random killer. He reviews he has this incredible and, frankly, quite tragic family history.
What's his story?
He's a prophet. By blood, he says. Descended from the famous seer Melampus.
Lampus. I know that name.
Yeah, a major figure. But the family line, it's complicated. Melampus himself fled persecution, suffered bondage. Then there's his descendant, Amphiaraos.
What about him?
Loved by Zeus and Apollo, a great prophet, but he died tragically. Why? Because his wife, Eriphyle, had been bribed with presents to send him into a battle he knew he wouldn't survive.
Betrayed by his own wife for gifts. Rough.
Very rough. So Theoclymenos comes from this line of powerful seers marked by both divine favor and, immense suffering and betrayal.
That's quite the lineage. So what does he want from Telemachos?
He basically throws himself on Telemachos' mercy. He asks who he is, where he's from, and pleads for passage on the ship. He's a suppliant, needing to escape the relatives of the man he killed who are powerful and hunting him.
So he needs sanctuary, fast. How does Telemachos react? This guy just admitted to killing someone.
It's a test of Telemachos' character, isn't it? And he steps up. Despite the potential danger, he shows immediate compassion. He says, "I will not willingly thrust you away from my balanced ship. Come then with me."
Wow. That's remarkably generous.
Yeah.
And brave, maybe?
Definitely brave. He takes this fugitive prophet under his protection. It's a real act of xenia, hospitality, even under pressure.
And does this act get any kind of divine approval?
It seems like it. Right after Theoclymenos comes aboard, the text says gray-eyed Athene sent them a favoring stern wind.
A tailwind, just what they needed.
Exactly. It speeds them on their way to Ithaca. This whole episode with Theoclymenos, it really makes you think, doesn't it? About making quick decisions, unexpected alliances.
Yeah, and how someone's deep past, like his family history, shapes their present. And maybe who helps them.
Totally. Okay, so Telemachos is racing home with a fugitive prophet. Meanwhile, back on Ithaca, we check in with Odysseus, still disguised as a beggar, and the swineherd, Eumaeus.
Right, and Odysseus is, well, being Odysseus, he's testing Eumaeus' loyalty, isn't he?
He can't help himself. He suggests maybe he should head into town at dawn. Go beg from the suitors. He even offers his supposed skills.
Skills? Like what?
Oh, the work of a servant. Building a fire, carving meat, pouring wine. He's basically saying, maybe I could get a job at the suitors.
How does Eumaeus take that?
He's deeply troubled. His response is pure loyalty. He warns the disguised Odysseus, saying absolutely not, stay away from the suitors. Their outrageous violence is too dangerous.
He's protecting him.
Completely. He urges him to stay there at the hut, promising that when Telemachos returns, he'll get him proper clothes and see him looked after. His devotion to Odysseus' family, even for the stranger he thinks is just a beggar, is just unwavering.
That's really something. And Odysseus keeps probing, doesn't he? He asks about his own parents.
Yeah, he asks Eumaeus about Laertes and Anticlea, and Eumaeus gives him the sad update.
What does he say?
Laertes, Odysseus' father, is alive, but barely. He just stays on his farm, grieving, praying for death, mourning his lost son.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. And his mother.
Eumaeus tells him she died of grief and longing for Odysseus. It's a really heavy moment, sharing this sorrow, even though Eumaeus doesn't know who he's talking to.
Yeah, it connects them in that moment. And Eumaeus then shares a bit about his own connection to the family, right? How he was raised.
He does. It explains so much about his loyalty. He reveals Odysseus' mother, Anticlea, actually raised him alongside her own daughter, Cteimon.
Wow, so he grew up in the main house, like family.
Pretty much. He says Anticlea treated him almost like her daughter. Later, when Cteimon got married and left, Anticlea gave Eumaeus good clothes and sandals and sent him out to the farm. But the affection was clearly deep.
That explains everything about his loyalty. He owes them so much.
It does. But then the conversation leads to Eumaeus unveiling his own absolutely astonishing backstory.
Oh, right. This is amazing. Where was he actually from?
Not Ithaca. He was born on an island called Syria, described as this idyllic place above Ortygia. Good land, fertile, no hunger, no sickness. People live long and die peacefully, thanks to Apollo and Artemis.
Sounds like paradise. Was he just a regular person there?
Far from it. His father, Odysseus, was the king of the island.
Wait, Eumaeus was a prince.
He was. But then, trouble arrived. Phoenician sailors came. Famous seafarers, the text says, but adds, ominously, gnars at other men's goods.
Uh-oh. Phoenicians, often traders, sometimes pirates or worse in these stories.
Exactly. And there was a Phoenician woman working as a servant in the king's house. Beautiful, skilled, but she was herself a captive, originally kidnapped by Taphian pirates.
Okay, so she had her own trauma.
Right, and these Phoenician sailors basically beguiled her. They connected over their shared Phoenician roots, and she saw a chance to get home.
Oh.
She conspired with them, she promised them info, maybe riches, and offered to bring along something extra valuable to sell.
What?
The man's son, she says, little Eumaeus, described as a cunning child even then. She planned to kidnap him to sell for a huge price.
Betrayal from within the household. Kidnapping the king's son.
Terrible, isn't it? So the Phoenicians traded there for a whole year. Then, when they were ready to leave, the woman made her move. She took Eumaeus, who was innocent, just a kid tagging along by a hand.
He had no idea.
None. She quickly snatched 3 golden goblets from the forecourt as they went and led him down to the ship at sunset.
Just like that, his life changed forever. What happened on the voyage?
It was tragic. They sailed for 6 days. On the 7th day, Artemis shot the treacherous Phoenician woman dead with an arrow.
Divine justice.
Seems like it. She just dropped to the splash like a diving turn, and they threw her body overboard to the seals and fishes.
Wow, what about Eumaeus?
He was left alone on the ship with the sailors, heart full of sorrow. Just a kidnapped child, his betrayer dead.
Where did they end up?
The wind and currents eventually carried the ship to Ithaca, and there, Odysseus' father, Laertes, bought me for himself with his own possessions.
So Laertes bought him as a slave, not knowing he was a prince.
Exactly. And raised him with kindness, as we heard. But what a story. From prince to captive to slave, all through betrayal and fate.
It's incredible. It really makes you think about loyalty, doesn't it? And the hidden depths, the surprising pasts people carry around.
Absolutely. And maybe for you, the listener, it's a reminder that dedication, like Eumaeus's, can come from the most unexpected, even traumatic backgrounds. It shows the human cost of greed and displacement, but also resilience.
So true. Okay, let's get back to Telemachos. His ship is finally nearing Ithaca's shore.
Right. They arrive, moor the ship, the companions start making dinner on the beach.
And Telemachos lays out his next steps, following Athene's plan.
Pretty much. He tells the companions, you guys take the ship onto the city, but she's not going with them.
Where's he going?
He says he's going inland to visit the estate and the herdsmen. Specifically, he means Eumaeus, the swineherd. He promises them all a feast later once he knows what's going on.
Okay, sticking to the plan. What about the fugitive prophet, Theoclymenos? He can't exactly wander off on his own.
No, and Telemachos handles this too. He advises Theoclymenos not to go to Odysseus' palace.
Why not?
Too dangerous with the suitors there. And Penelope is keeping to herself, grieving. So Telemachos suggests he go stay with Eurymachos instead.
Eurymachos, the main suitor who's trying to marry Penelope. Why send him there?
It seems practical on one level. Telemachos says the people of Ithaca practically worship Eurymachos, since he is their best man by far and is the most eager to marry my mother. Maybe it seems like the safest, most powerful household.
Okay. But Telemachos adds something else, doesn't he? Something prophetic.
He does. Right after suggesting Eurymachos, he adds, almost under his breath, Zeus knows whether the evil day will end him before he can make that marriage.
Ooh, a little foreshadowing that Eurymachos might not get what he wants.
Definitely a dark hint there. And just as he's sorting this out, another omen appears. Right then.
Seriously, another bird.
Yep, this time it's a falcon swift messenger of Apollo, also flying on the right.
Okay, Apollo's messenger on the right. Sounds positive. What's it doing?
It's got a pigeon in its talons, and it's tearing at it, so the feathers are drifting down right between the ship and Telemachos himself.
Wow, that's vivid. Like the message is landing right at his feet.
Exactly. And who should interpret this one?
Let me guess. Theoclymenos, the prophet he just picked up.
You got it. He immediately steps forward and gives a powerful interpretation. He tells Telemachos the falcon is a clear sign.
What does he say it means?
He declares, no other family shall be kinglier than yours in the country of Ithaca, but you shall have lordly power forever.
Whoa. So not just Odysseus returning, but confirmation of Telemachos' own royal line continuing. Strong forever.
A huge vote of confidence in his future, delivered right as he lands. It's powerful reassurance.
How does Telemachos react to that prophecy?
He's grateful. He tells Theoclymenos that if this comes true, he'll show him love and many gifts, basically. He'll reward him richly.
Fair enough. So, final arrangements. Where does Theoclymenos end up staying? Not with Eurymachos, right?
No, plans change slightly. Telemachos turns to one of his most trusted companions, Pyrrhos, and asks him to take Theoclymenos home.
To Pyrrhos' house.
Yes. He instructs Pyrrhos to look after Theoclymenos and give him honor, due, and loving attention until Telemachos can sort things out.
Okay, so Theoclymenos is safe and cared for by a loyal crewman.
Exactly. And with that sorted, the paths finally diverge.
The ship sails on towards the city.
And Telemachos starts walking. Swiftly. inland, towards the yard where there were countless pigs, and near them always slept the noble swineherd.
Heading straight for Eumaeus, just as Athene instructed, all the pieces are moving into place.
It's all converging, guided by purpose, by those divine interventions, but also by Telemachos' own choices and his growing cunning.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's clear it wasn't just about, ancient Greek travel plans.
Not at all. We've seen that divine urgency, that push Telemachos got. We've seen those ancient codes of hospitality, how important gifts and send-offs were.
And those chilling prophecies, the omens,
Yeah.
guiding the action, building suspense.
Plus those really surprising, often poignant backstories, like Eumaeus, they just add so much depth.
Yeah, and through it all, you see these universal themes playing out, right? The search for purpose, what loyalty really means.
How help can arrive in really unexpected ways, like a fugitive prophet, and just how much family and the past shape everything.
So here's something to maybe chew on after listening. When you have all these forces at play, gods, humans, history, ambition, loyalty,
And all these hidden stories unfolding.
how much is a homecoming really about returning to the way things were?
Yeah.
And how much is it about discovering what's been waiting for you all along, but maybe transformed by the journey itself?